I'm talking to Guy de Pauw, the CEO of big data company TextGame, which is based in Belgium, where they use a language processing tool to discover disinformation and polarization online. Hi, Guy.
Hello.
Okay, so just to start, tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, and why.
Well, my name is Guy de Pauw. I am the CEO of TextGain, and we're an artificial intelligence company from Antwerp, Belgium, and we develop social media monitoring tools that are able to automatically detect disinformation and polarization on social media. Well, we've been doing this for a while now. But why do we do it? I guess to quote the movie Taken, we have a very specific set of skills. In this case, it's data science and computational linguistics. And as computer nerds, it's not that easy to do societally relevant work. I think technology is mostly used for commercial purposes. So that's why we're happy to do this kind of stuff, to use AI responsibly for the benefit of society, or at least to understand what's going on in society. So that's a very interesting niche to work in.
Following on from that, why is it important to tackle polarization and disinformation?
Um, Yeah, I think we've somehow reached this point in time where being mean on social media is actually rewarding. It's like a way to increase your social status. I think part of that is human nature. Everybody loves a villain, but it's also clear that the content delivery algorithms of social media play an important part of this by placing us in these contexts that trigger polarization. And I don't think as a society we should accept that. We shouldn't accept that we have a mean streak in ourselves. And I think we should try to continue to find more constructive ways of arguing with each other, because I think there's a nice role for debate, even if it's uh, heated debate. I think that's important, but it shouldn't be mean or toxic.
Do you think that data could be, and data how you use it, could be the solution to polarization? But how much is it really part of the problem?
Mm. Well, it certainly is part of the problem. I think everybody knows by now that our personal data is being used by social media for monetary gains, and with the unfortunate side effect that it increases polarization, because that's what's rewarding the content algorithms. So it's certainly, in my opinion, the root cause of the problem. But I do think as outsiders, though, what we can do is observe this phenomenon and try to learn from it. So if we want to counteract polarization, we need to understand how it works. And we also need to understand why people are angry, what triggers that toxicity. And I think that's the other side of the coin, that the data is being abused, but at the same time we can also observe the data and try to understand how this phenomenon is evolving. And I think that can be an important key to also resolving it.
Talking about those good data, things for good data, then what can data be used for good, and can you give us some examples of those, and maybe tell us also about what you do with data to use it for good?
Artificial intelligence and those machine learning algorithms are being used extensively in medical science to find out or pharmaceutical science, to find out which components are beneficial in a health context. There's a lot of new galaxies and planets that are being discovered purely through machine learning techniques as well. So I think that's those are very exciting uses of data. When it comes to processing private data and the data we as humans generate and user-generated content, fortunately not that many nice use cases of that. There are some very effective ones that where it has been shown that you can manipulate electoral results or political leanings on social media. So we detect disinformation, polarization, but we don't really see it as a tool for censorship, except in the cases where it's violent toxic data. We feel that it's again a different way of listening to society, and it's early days, yes, yet, but I do think that that's what we try to do, use artificial intelligence and data science as a way to measure the social pulse.
So also on topic of future, how do you think it will affect elections?
Yeah, it doesn't look too good, to be honest. There is hardly any safety mechanism in place for malafide parties to influence the electorate. We see that in my region, the extreme right is very active on social media, and that's where they are gaining the most of their electorate. Yeah, I think as long as there's no regulation, they're free to do so. So the best that we could do is, stay outside and observe what is going on, and get in between when things get too rough.